Bucky D here for his only video for for this South by Southwest video, but it's up because I'm busy. But we got
I've got Courtney right here, and with us today is Jennifer McShane of Ernie and Joe. So, briefly, tell us a little bit about this documentary because it, to me, is a very interesting premise.
It is. I think it's great, but I'm biased, of course.
No.
I followed 2 police officers on the mental health unit in San Antonio for SAPD, and all they do is focus on how to de-escalate situations with people in mental health crisis, which is a lot of the cases they deal with. So on a wide spectrum, but it's really a film, I think, about communication and connection, human connection. So I'm thrilled to be here with it.
also we saw some bits of this film. There's only 10 members of this group. Like that's it. We have 1/5 of the organization in Austin right now. Like they're coming here, but it's like they're not a very big group at all.
Not at all, and that's made very clear in the film that they feel as a 10-person, just men and women, 10-person unit is only kind of reaching maybe 3 to 4% of all the mental health calls. So they realize they're terribly underserved, and they're expanding they're going to get larger in the next year.
Yeah, I know that they did a TEDx talk at one point. Apparently, Joe was very nervous about that.
Yeah.
And just for people at home who aren't familiar with San Antonio is actually the second largest city in Texas, right after Houston,
And the 7th largest city in the country.
Yeah. So when we're talking about a 10-person unit and why we're so amazed by that, even reaching as many as they do, is that San Antonio not only is large in terms of population, it's also a large square mile area. So from that, I know that there was a lot of red tape involved because you are dealing with a police department and their press departments are nothing but red tape. But outside of that, what was the biggest challenge in doing a documentary of this nature?
Well, I wanted it to feel as immersive as possible. I really wanted people to feel like they were in the car with Ernie and Joe. So that was a challenge for my cinematographer, who was Austin-based. I want to give a shout out to E.J. Enriquez and Paul Toohey. The sound and camera were Austin people. And that was a challenge because we had very tight spaces, and I was very conscious of trying to maintain the privacy of people we were visiting, because I knew if we kind of showed up right in the middle of it, we were kind of ruining the whole rapport that Ernie and Joe are really good at getting with people. So that was kind of the challenge, is trying to keep it intimate, but also far enough away that we were protecting people.
You also used a lot of dash cam footage, which is really in some ways the only way you were able to basically get these people to talk and not feel like they were part of a film basically, and their lives were being intruded upon.
And also that woman in the dash cam, I felt very strongly that I wanted her to be aware of how I was using the film. And I met with her, and she felt very strongly that I use it. She said people need to understand what crisis feels like. And we follow her in the film. Afterwards, she ended up participating in the film. So it was pretty amazing. It was amazing. It was a very moving line in the film.
We also need to tell people that they may not be aware of this, but most of the members of this organization doesn't carry guns or weapons on them. They go into this basically dressed as I am. Basically, yeah, they are not armed.
When I ask Ernie and Joe what the most powerful thing that they have in their kind of repertoire, and they will say it's their ability to listen. To really listen and be aware of what situation they are facing, and by not wearing a uniform, they automatically de-escalate the situation by just showing up in an unmarked car and regular polos and jeans. It's right away the temperature is just dropped for obvious reasons. So.
And it definitely shows in the video.
My sister is currently at Sam Houston State getting her master's in psychology with an emphasis on mental health, especially in some of the more underserved populations. Yeah. So to me, this is as soon as I'm done here, I'm also kind of going to cheat a little bit and send her a press screener because I want her opinion on this too. She'd love it. And it's just, did you know you were going to be making such an impactful documentary? Or
I was hoping. I mean, I knew it was timely, and I feel it's critical. And I think, people say it's a Texas story. Yes, it's a Texas story, and I'm glad we're at South by, but it's a national story. Every community across the country is dealing with how they relate to their local police department and mental health, because I think we have a mental health crisis in this country.
Yes.
So this film really speaks to those things in a personal, moving way that I really hope is going to help open up the conversation and get other communities talking about how do we make this better, how do we work together, because that's what Ernie and Joe are doing. They're working with others. It's not just them. They're very collaborative.
Yeah.
So I hope people come out and see us at 3 o'clock today. I don't know when this is going to air, but
immediately. No, it's airing right now.
Oh, great! Oh, wow.
So and then with all that, I mean, there's like some of the guys refer to it as hug-a-thug.
Yeah, right.
You don't also shy away how basically the other police treat them. Like, it's kind of a not so much rivalry, but they're like, oh, you guys, in your hug-a-thug scenario.
And they said initially that was definitely the response from officers was, what? You want us to do what? But I have to say, they've now trained 100% of the police in San Antonio. Every single cadet graduating from the police academy gets trained in this kind of de-escalation training. So they have really drunk the Kool-Aid. Like, they get it. I think the officers now who use it believe in it. So there's really something beautiful about that. They get it. They know it works. They'd rather do that. They'd rather use their words.
I mean, this is something I'll address too. It's a really stressful situation, and y'all do cover that briefly. And it's just...
Yeah, we're all human beings, and we have to figure out a way to kind of help each other out.
So if people want to find out more about the documentary, or where they can see it, if they can't make it to South by Southwest, where can they find out about this documentary, or where they can get it later?
Okay, we're still working on where you're going to get it later,
Okay.
but you can go to our website, ernieandjoethefilm.com, and also we're at Alamo Lamar at 3 o'clock, and then on Friday at 6 o'clock, where Austin Film Society is doing a great community screening, which I'm very excited about, and a bunch of people from the film will be at both screenings, Friday and today.
So excellent. You guys stay here, stay with us. We're going to be doing more interviews later on. And don't forget to like and share this stuff, because, we need to get this movie out. So,
definitely want to get it to a broader audience. So, yeah, have a good one.
Have fun.